Hey everybody, it's Jeff Hansen. We're back. Best day of the year, National Signing Day. We are talking to as many of BYU signees as will talk to us today, joined by Andrew Williams out of Missouri. Andrew, how you doing today, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing really well. It's a big day. Congratulations, first and foremost, to you. You have officially signed. You're living out so many people's dreams. How's the day going? Are you doing anything special to celebrate? What are you guys going to do for signing day?
Celebrate. Obviously we still have school, so we got to get ready for that. But we're going to go out, probably celebrate, hang out with my mom and my dad, and the rest of my family, and just enjoy the day.
Well, that's the way that it should be. It does feel like you should get school off or something. Yeah. Make it a holiday, right?
I wish.
So out of Kirksville, Missouri, 6'7". We've got you listed at 275. Is that still accurate, or where are you at about now physically?
I'm like 280, 285.
Okay.
So just getting the weight in the off season pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to be around there when I get to BYU. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. So, I mean, that's a big body, big boy, prototypical offensive tackle. What's it like playing high school football in Missouri? A lot of us out here in Utah, we don't see what that looks like, a lot. How's the competition? Are you the biggest guy on the field every single week, or what's it like out there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm usually the tallest, but it's Missouri. There's a lot of corn-fed kids here, so that stereotypical, hillbilly redneck attitude is very prominent. And then everybody. I mean, I've never been to the West to play football, so I have no idea the differences. But it's really enjoyable. I love my teammates, and there's still a camaraderie that you get at anywhere else. But like I said, the competition's fun. You got some big boys no matter where you go, even though they're not 6'7". They're going to be 6'5" and heavy. So it's a fun competition all the time. Yep.
Well, you mentioned those big corn-fed dudes, and there were a bunch of schools that were offering you that when I look at them, I think of those big corn-fed offensive lines. Iowa State, Kansas State. I mean, that tends to be what I think of is the just big, beefy offensive linemen. What was that recruiting process like for you? You kind of came out of nowhere, and it seems like all these big offers came in a span of about a month. What was that recruiting process like?
It was definitely rushed. It felt like not like I was out of it, because I was aware of the situation I was in, and I was aware that I was going to have to, or not going to have to, but I wanted to commit relatively early, find the school that I liked, and just to keep the complication as low as possible. So whenever we're talking about how it felt, I mean, it was just camps to official visits, getting to know the coaches, and finding out where I think I'd fit myself personally. In development, academics, just the people I'm going to be around on the day-to-day operation, all came into effect, and that's why I landed on BYU as one of the best programs I went to, or the best program I went to, and I couldn't be happier to sign there.
Yeah. So what specifically stood out about BYU? Because you've got some really good programs to choose from. Obviously, Kansas, Jeff Grimes, BYU fans know him really well. He's an offensive line wizard. K-State and Iowa State, I mean, that's a big rivalry. They're always good teams. Matt Campbell, Chris Kleiman. What was it about BYU that really stood out and checked all of those boxes for you?
Yeah, of course. And I'm going to start off by saying none of these programs were bad. I can tell you right now, going around, getting to meet all these coaches, all of them, very, very great, have their own special abilities and talents. But what stood out to me at BYU was the coaching and just the players I was going to be around. You have Coach Woods. He's developed guys, all around the country. He knows how to develop my body, my type, and you see, he sends guys to the league all the time. And then obviously Coach Kalani. You can't get any better than that man. And sitting down, having conversations with him and my family, I couldn't feel better committing to a program like that. And like I said, I mean, I've talked to all these players, I've got to know them, got around them, and we're very similar. And that I think is the biggest deal. Like whenever, football is not the easiest thing to be around. So having teammates and members that know the situation you're in and want to be there, and you build each other up and help each other. That was the biggest reason why BYU is where I'm going.
No, yeah, that makes a ton of sense. And that conversation with Kalani, I want to ask you a little bit more about that, because so many guys that I talk to, and I've been covering recruiting now for years, a long time, And so many guys talk about what it's like to get to know Coach Kalani and how he is just different. What is it about Coach Sitake that makes him so different from everybody else? Not good, not bad, right, wrong, or whatever, right? We're not saying anything like that. But Kalani is different. What stands out so much about him?
His personality. You get around him, and he has this calm collectiveness to him, and he, in all these players, you can tell he's a players-oriented coach. And I'm not saying that these other coaches aren't, but just getting around him, no matter the situation he's in, he's always going to be Kalani. He doesn't get all fired up and heated up. Obviously, he gets excited and he wants to make the game go on, but he's not going to sit there and rip on you and tear you down because, he truly does believe in you. And that, I think, was the biggest difference is he just his mannerisms, his temperament. It's very, very well put together. He's a very well-rounded man.
Yeah, he's a ton of fun. He's had a ton of success in his career. He and his entire coaching staff, you talked a little bit about it, they've had a lot of success in developing players. BYU has never been a place that's landing, all the top 100 5-star type guys that are already NFL ready. They go in and they develop talent. What do the coaches see in you, and how do they see you developing as you go throughout your career?
Yeah, so that's the pretty much the best case for me was that I have a true tackle build. So if you look at me, I don't look like I'm 280 most of the time. I look, a little leaner, and that helps me to be more athletic. So my build is more explosive oriented, which nowadays the tackle is able to move quicker to be able to combat these faster DNs.
Mm-hmm.
So that to me is why I stood out so good in my recruiting process. But like I said, I don't look like I'm 280. So I have to put on weight and gain weight in the right way. And that's where BYU comes into play. You have these great guys that come in, like Blake Freeland, for example, and you come in, you get developed, and then you're at that level to go to the, NFL. And I'm not saying that I'm going to be able to make it. I really do. I'm going to work my butt off to get there, obviously. But to have the opportunity to be able to be in the place to be developed, I will not take that lightly. And that's why I feel like BYU is going to help me exactly like how I'm going to help them. It just seemed like a perfect fit.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I'm glad you pulled Blake Freeland, because that's a guy that when I saw your highlights, see what you bring to the table, Blake Freeland immediately came to mind. Just 6'7", big bodies. He was a quarterback in high school. He didn't look like an offensive tackle either. So that's a good pull. And if that's the kind of trajectory you're able to get on, there's worse trajectories to be on, right?
Absolutely.
What other players do you kind of watch? For most football fans, average fans, I don't think they spend enough time watching the offensive line. But who do you watch? Who do you kind of model your game after, and who do you try to emulate as you look at the player you want to become?
That's a really good question, actually. Obviously, Trent Williams, you watch him play in the NFL. Obviously, I'd love to go on motion and go and, grab out of somebody. Well, sadly, this year, we didn't get it done. I asked my coach, I was begging him, please put me in motion. I just want to get, run power or something, but never got it. Obviously there, and then you have like Caleb Etienne at BYU, not necessarily the most well-rounded diamond, I guess. He's not perfect, but he gets the job done, and he looks good doing it. And that's the best thing you can really ask for. And then pretty much anybody that has like a smart game. That's another big thing that's on the O-line. So you look at Connor Pay, the center there at BYU. He is very smart and football oriented. And that's a big thing that you're looking for to play O-line, because we don't get the ball, but we got to know where everything's going and where it's going to make things work. So I guess those are the biggest three that I look forward to.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Connor Pay, he talks about Coach Woods, and you kind of mentioned it right there at the end. I can't remember verbatim what Coach Woods' quote is, but when the emotions are high, the execution is low, or something like that. That's kind of how he plays, and that makes a ton of sense. Okay, BYU, it's obviously different. There's a lot of different ways to enroll. What are your enrollment plans? Are you a graduate early guy? Are there mission plans? Are you waiting until the summer? Right? What are you thinking in terms of when you get to BYU?
Yeah, so I'm going to be graduating early from Kirksville right now. I'm not sure if I'm going to take a mission. Right now, I don't have plans to, but I'm looking, obviously to get there, get around the program and see my options. That's the thing a little bit different about Missouri is we don't have too many people that obviously take missions and also play college football. So I'm a little bit behind in that part of my decision right now, but I mean, getting around there, it's the perfect college to be at to make it. So I guess those are my plans right now, to graduate early and just get there and get ready to go.
Yeah, get in there for spring ball. Start figuring out what comes next for you in your future. That's awesome. Andrew, this has been great, man. We appreciate you taking the time. Big day for you. Congratulations once again. The last thing, what kind of player, what kind of leader, I mean, what do you want BYU fans to know about you as they get ready to watch you play, really starting in spring ball?
I mean, I love to compete. That's the first starters. I think that anybody that wants to come out and play football has to have a certain type of fire behind them. And I absolutely love to bring it. And so looking at, this year we've had a good year, a little teetering lately, but we're going to come back. And I think that just bringing it into next season or the seasons after that, depending on, how I do or how I develop, it's going to be, the same or better, definitely better to really, I mean, it's a program that's developing and getting better, and that's the best thing. And as a fan, my whole life, I mean, to hear that from somebody and to know that it's really coming, especially like from a new recruit like this, that's all I love, and I'd love to hear it. So yeah, it's just get ready to watch it get better.
That's right. Love it, man. Love seeing BYU invest in the offensive line. You're part of a really strong offensive line class in this class of 2025. Congratulations once again. And hey, thanks for taking some time today and joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate it. We'll talk soon.